Itu do apni YouTube te bi man dangor followers ase. Holibi ami kan hunna hisab te do first time de do bishi thaking na aro terminate hoise hoise. Itu lolop ko paribo.
Itu inka hoise 78,000 subscriber thaise naka new projects te to tate to views pipishe bal kitaba to tuita video million par aro ekta video to 2 million tak pichaise na inka kura to hoy video do banai ase holibi challenge pi thakina kon ba bramoi laga video 3 jun par chor kurse tai kan la channel de halikina itu tai kan la video ase koikina halikina tate pra terminate kurdishe.
General Secretary of the NSCN, Thwinglang Muiwa. Mr. Muiwa,
most of the important points have been understood together. There is no confusion anymore between us now, because allow me to tell you like this. When the Nagas went to meet Jawaharlal Nehru, unfortunately, he had no patience to listen to the Nagas. When the Nagas said, we will not be under the Indian Union because our history is clear. When he said, our delegation members said that, he had no patience anymore. And he replied, even if heaven falls and the whole country goes to pieces and river run red, yes, with blood, I will not allow the Nagas to be independent. It will be a matter of few days for the Indian armed forces to crush the Nagas. That was what he uttered. All Nagas were totally surprised. You know, that was the beginning. And I memorized it. Okay, so that was the attitude. And so when the Nagas refused to be a part of the Indian Union, yes, you know, countless troops were sent and operations started. How? And how they treated Nagas? Sorry, in a most cruel and inhuman way, Nagas had been treated. But Nagas did not surrender. And so after fighting and after the, condemnation of the Shillong Accord and this and that, after fighting nicely and successfully, say more than 20 years now, from your side, from the Indian side, official declaration was made. Military solution is no longer possible. It is not law and order issue of India. It is political issue of the Nagas and India.
Quite right, sir. In 97, there was a ceasefire. In 2002 or 2003, Mr. Vajpayee's government accepted the uniqueness of Naga history and identity. Since then, for 23 years, you have been talking.
Yeah.
In 2015, you had a framework agreement, and everyone thought a solution is bound to follow. Today, you have issued this statement, which says that the sensitive issue of the Naga flag and the Naga constitution is the sticking point. So tell me, is the flag and the constitution an issue over which the talks can break?
You're right. You're right. You know,
just be clear, sir. Can the talks break over the flag and constitution?
Of course, if those rights are ignored, you know, it is not acceptable to us. Because, as we have told your delegation members very often time, Nagas are not lost people. We have our history. We have our history. We have our right. Now we have taught them. And at last, they recognize. Mr. Muiwa, your history is unique. You were never under the Indians, either by consent of the Naga people or by, the force of the Indian armed forces. No?
You're saying the Modi government has accepted that the Nagas were never under the Indian people. You're saying that?
Yes.
The Modi government has accepted it.
Huh?
Narendra Modi has accepted it, that Nagas were never under the Indian people.
No. Among the negotiators, no, we have come and they agreed. They agreed.
So Ravi has agreed.
Yes, it is not Ravi, but the Indian side, no?
Has agreed.
Yes, agreed, because
That Nagas were never under the Indian people.
yes, they have admitted it is not law and order issue of India. And that is how they declared to the whole world.
Then tell me this, Mr. Muiva,
Yeah.
is the flag and the constitution a breaking point? If the Indians do not agree that you can have your own constitution and your own flag, will the talks break on that?
Okay, if
Sri Isaac Su, who played a leading role in reaching this agreement, was present today. He could not be here because of poor health. I wish him speedy recovery. Just as his contribution to this agreement has been huge, his guidance will remain crucial in the times ahead. The Naga political issue had lingered for 6 decades, taking a huge toll on generations of our people. I sincerely thank Sri Isaac Su, Sri Muiva, and other Naga leaders for their wisdom and courage, for their efforts and cooperation, which has resulted in this historic agreement. I have the deepest admiration for the great Naga people, for their extraordinary support to the peace efforts. I compliment the National Socialistic Council of Nagaland for maintaining the ceasefire agreement for nearly 2 decades with a sense of honor that defines the great Naga people. My relationship with the Northeast has been deep. I have traveled to Nagaland on many occasions. I have been deeply impressed by the rich and diverse culture and the unique way of life of the Naga people. It makes not only our nation but also the world a more beautiful place. The Naga courage and commitment are legendary. Equally, they represent the highest levels of humanism. Their system of village administration and grassroots democracy should be an inspiration for the rest of the country. The respect for the infirm and elders, the status of women in society, sensitivity to Mother Nature, and the emphasis on social equality is a natural way of Naga life. These are values that should constitute the foundation of the society that we all seek. Unfortunately, the Naga problem has taken so long to resolve because we did not understand each other. It is a legacy of British rule. The colonial rulers had, by design, kept the Nagas isolated and insulated. They propagated terrible myths about Nagas in the rest of the country. They deliberately supported the reality that the Nagas were an extremely evolved society. They also spread negative ideas about the rest of the India among Naga people. This was part of the well-known policy of divide and rule of the colonial rulers. It is one of the tragedies of independent India that we have lived with this legacy. There were not many like Mahatma Gandhi who loved the Naga people and was sensitive to their sentiments. We have continued to look at each other through the prism of false precedents and old prejudice. The result was that connectivity between Nagaland and the rest of India remained weak across this divide. Economic development and progress in Nagaland remained modest, and durable peace was elusive since becoming Prime Minister last year. Peace, security, and economic transformation of Northeast has been among my highest priorities. It is also at the heart of my foreign policy, especially the Act East policy have been deeply concerned about resolving the Naga issue soon after entering office. I appointed an interlocutor for talks with the Naga leaders who not only understood the Naga people as also their aspirations and expectations, but has great affection and respect for them. Given the importance of this initiative, I asked my office to supervise these talks, and I personally kept in touch with the progress. I want to especially thank my senior colleague, Home Minister Sri Rajnath Singh ji, who supported and advised, was invaluable in bringing us here today. Today's agreement is a shining example of what we can achieve when we deal with each other in a spirit of equality and respect, trust and confidence, when we seek to understand concerns and try to address aspirations, when we leave the path of dispute and take the high road of dialogue. It is a lesson and an inspiration in our troubled world. Today, we mark not merely the end of a problem, but the beginning of a new future. We will not only try to heal wounds and resolve problems, but also be your partner as you restore your pride and prestige. Today, to the leaders and the people of Nagaland, I say this: you will not only build a bright future of Nagaland, but your talents, traditions, and efforts will also contribute to making the nation stronger, more secure, more inclusive, and more prosperous. You are also the guardian of our eastern frontiers and our gateway to the world beyond. Equally, the rest of the nation will join you in shaping a future of dignity, opportunity, and prosperity for the people of Naga. Today, as you begin a new glorious chapter with a sense of pride, self-confidence, and self-respect, I join the nation in saluting you and conveying our good wishes to the Naga people. Thank you very much.
Machisot and banner machote, students up and yes, banner te, जीबी सब जीबी assertion naga itu bidor ki nahatak na reconciliation di na parego itu pura makan badna to kali church leaders kan do porthana laga asase te anbaga to every trouble ho kan mon digena reconcile korobela political to सब political part सब मिलाइले एकटा सक्सेस हो गले तो trouble सब तो paratak to naga ho bener bidor ta hi jabi Allah kanak nam namati bi women association to kiman tribe thakle bi ene da bidor je jabi suri jone bi सब पहले सब bidor ai jabi ito ala naga boy sekta hobo aro itu bi apna kan khali porthana parade na parbo
our rights are ignored, no? Then we are being treated as lost people. That we cannot accept. No? How can we accept, this kind of attitude towards us?
So you're saying without a flag and without a constitution being granted to the Nagas, there can be no solution?
There can be no solution. Why? Because we are not lost people. We have our history, and our history is officially admitted from the Indian side also. Your history is unique. You were never under the Indians, either by conquest of the Indian armed forces or by consent of the Naga people.
For the record, tell me, what does the Indian side say to you when you say we must have a flag, we must have a constitution? What do they say?
Well, they said your history is unique. And so, since our history is unique, our history, our constitution must be ours. We cannot demand our constitution or flag or this or that from others. It is all right to have.
That's your position. What do the Indians say? What does the Indian side say when you say we must have a flag, we must have a constitution? What is their answer?
Their answer was this, your history is unique. You are never under the Indians, according to your, own efforts or accord.
But they will not agree to a flag or constitution.
No, the history is unique. This is the main point. Since the history is unique, solution must also be unique. Yes. Since our history is unique, the right to have our constitution, the right to have our sovereignty, this is up to us. Why should we ask from others? No, it is this. How is it that the Indians will have to impose this constitution and right on us? Why? How?
Let me put this to you. In August 2019, India revoked Article 370, as a result of which Jammu and Kashmir, which had no constitution, which had a flag, lost both. After that, how can the Indian government agree to give Nagaland its own constitution and its own flag? They've just taken it away from Jammu and Kashmir. How can they agree to it for you?
The problem is that the Nagas were never under the Indians. And by virtue of what, Indians will have to impose their constitution and their flag on us. We were not under them, either by conquest of their forces or by consent of ourselves.
So your position is, because our history is unique,
yes,
the solution must be unique.
Yes.
And
right.
if the solution is unique,
yes,
we must have a constitution, we must have our flag. What has happened to Jammu and Kashmir cannot apply to us.
You're right. You're right. That is our stand. Why? Because in the course of the long talks, they have agreed. Your history is unique. Your history is unique. So, solution must also be unique.
Let me put a problem to you. The NSCN, your organization, is insisting on a constitution and a flag. The problem is there are many other Naga groups that are not insisting on a constitution and flag. The Naga national political groups, several civil society groups, don't worry if there is no Naga constitution if there is no Naga flag? On this issue, the Indian government has divided the Nagas.
No, you know, these are traitors. These are traitors, no?
Traitors?
Traitors, they are traitors.
You're saying the Naga national political groups are traitors?
In most cases, they are traitors. Okay. The unique history is clear. No? How can they deny that? How can they deny that? Who are they? Who are they? They are the people who accepted 16-point agreement, which was rejected by the Naga people. We fought against it. So, how many years after that?
So you're saying to me, Mr. Muiva,
Yes.
that Naga groups who are not insisting on a flag or a constitution are traitors? You mean that? Traitors?
They are all traitors. Those people are traitors. No? We have been standing for our right, for our history, no? Since we were never conquered by the Indians, since we never became, say, part of the Indian Union. How could the Indians would say that the Nagas will have to be under the Indian Union, or Nagas will have to be under the Indian flag?
So you're saying, as you said in your statement,
yes,
till the last Naga is alive, you will insist on your own constitution and your own flag?
Yeah, we have to stand our ground. That is our history.
There is no compromise possible on this?
Well, the compromise, you know, that approach, we don't deny that, or we don't totally reject that, because, you know, they started finding out the way to make compromise from the Indian side. Well, I will let you know. Well, since Nagas have right, your history is unique, solution must be unique, you're right.
So you're saying on the flag and on the constitution there is no compromise, you insist you have to have both?
Yes, no. Why? Because, allow me to say this, since Indians have also agreed our sovereign right, our history, unique, being unique, yes.
Okay.
That they said, yes, you're right, Nagas have right, we know, but Indians have difficulties, their own difficulties, and how to solve this? That is what they started talking now. And so we started talking among the Nagas ourselves. Since Indians have recognized our right, our history, and our sovereign right also, we must also try to appreciate their difficulties. This must be done. Why? Something, to come closer to each other. That must be done. That was the step we took. And after some months, a proposal came from your side, openly declaring, what is that? On the basis of shared sovereignty, we have to seek solution. We have to seek solution on the basis of shared sovereignty.
I want to talk to you about shared sovereignty. I first spoke to you about the flag and constitution, and you made it clear that because Nagas have a unique history, they should have a unique solution. That unique solution is a flag and constitution.
Yes.
What has happened to Jammu and Kashmir cannot apply to Nagas. Let's now come to the second issue, which is this question of shared sovereignty.
Yes.
The framework agreement of August 2015 between the NSCN and the Indian government speaks of sharing the sovereign power and refers to the government of India and the NSCN as two entities. Explain to me, how does the NSCN understand the term sharing the sovereign power?
Yes. Because our history is clear. We are sovereign people. Our history is clear. We were not under anyone. And so our sovereignty is ours. Because because the history is unique, clear.
But what does the term sharing sovereign power mean to the NSCN? How do you interpret it?
Yes, since that is the proposal coming from your side now, we also took the step they have taken seriously. Since they have recognized the unique history of the Nagas and our sovereignty also, we must also try to understand them. That is the step we took. Okay. So, Indians will have to understand this. And so, when the Indians authorities, some of them openly said that, well, Indian will have to share their sovereignty with Nagas. And the Nagas will have also share their sovereignty with India. Now, that must be the way to seek solution. That is the idea. They started talking, sharing with us. Okay, if it is so, since they have also become more rational, starting to respect the Nagas now. We also took a positive step to understand and to appreciate them.
I understand. Both sides, you're saying, need to share sovereignty with each other.
Yes.
I'm repeating your words. The Nagas will share sovereignty with the Indians. The Indians will share sovereignty with the Nagas. That I understand.
Yeah.
But let me quote to you what you said on the 14th of August last year. And for the sake of the audience, I'll point out, your organization considers 14th August Naga Independence Day.
Yeah.
Now this is what you said. I'm quoting. The Nagas will coexist with India, sharing sovereign powers as agreed. But then you added, they will not merge with India. What do you mean, Nagas will not merge with India? What do you mean by that merge?
Yeah, we will not merge. Why? Because Indians are insisting. Indians are insisting on their own right. On their own right. But to what extent? Can that be appreciated or acceptable to us?
But can you explain to me, when you say you will not merge, what do you mean by the word merge?
Of course. Well, merge means it will not become, say, a part of the Indian Union. No, will not become.
You will not become part of the Indian Union?
No, we will not become part of the Indian Union.
You won't be part of the country called India?
We will not become a part of the Indian Union, a part of the Indian Constitution, a part of this or that. No?
You said you will not be part of the Indian Constitution.
How can we be under them? Even if, I say, if we are going to be a party or sharing sovereign right with each other, no? That has to be worked out. That has to be worked out.
But this is very important, so I'm clarifying it. You are saying to me you will not accept the Indian Constitution. Is that right?
Oh, how can we accept Indian Constitution? How?
If you don't accept the Indian Constitution, that means you won't be part of India. You will be a separate country.
We cannot accept the Indian Constitution as our Constitution. We cannot do that. Why? Why? Our history is clear. Our rights are clear. Now, we were never under the Indian.
But if you cannot accept the Indian Constitution, you won't be part of the Indian Union. Is that right?
We will never be a part of the Indian Union.
Never?
Never.
In which case, India and Nagaland, or Nagalim as you call it, will be two separate countries.
Nagas or Naga, their lands are not to be treated under the Indian Union. That must be clear. That must be made clear. Why? Because our history is unique.
That I understand. But you're then talking of a concept of shared sovereignty where Nagaland or Nagalim and India are two separate entities and they remain two separate entities. This is what you mean when you say you won't merge. You won't become one country. You will be a separate country.
We are bound so long as we are compelled. We are bound. because we cannot place ourselves under anyone. The right of the Nagas, our history must be respected. If they are going to respect ours, now we will try to respect theirs also. But to what extent?
So I'm just clarifying, you will never be part of the Indian Union, you will never accept the Indian Constitution. Yes or no?
If you are not respecting ours, now why should we respect yours? No, it's not possible.
Once again, Mr. Muiva, this is the position of your organization, the NSCN.
Yes.
But other Naga groups, the Naga national political groups, have taken a very different view of what is meant by shared sovereignty. In a statement that the Naga national political groups issued on the 31st of August, they say there is already shared sovereignty in the Indian federal system. They say sovereignty is shared between the states and the center along the lines of the central list, the state list, the concurrent list. In fact, that statement says, and I'm quoting, in a nutshell, this is shared sovereignty. So for the Naga national political groups, sovereignty can be shared within the Indian constitution between the center and the states. They differ from you. Once again, they differ from you.
You know, that was not the decision of the Naga people. Right from the people, now, Nagas have made their decision very clear. Nothing of that kind has been committed to the Indians or to anyone.
So who do the Naga national political groups speak for when they say that they believe there is already shared sovereignty within the Indian system? You want shared sovereignty from outside, they say it already exists within the system. Who do they speak for?
You know, since the starting point needs to be cleared, no? Yes. Nagas were under the Indian Union or how? When? This must be the question. Because you are claiming that Nagas are under Indian Union.
But once again, what I'm pointing out is just as Nagas are divided over the importance of a flag and constitution, your group insists on a flag and constitution, the Naga national political groups are not concerned, they don't care whether there is one. Similarly, over this issue of sovereignty, there is again a divide. Your group insists that you will not be part of the Indian Union, you will not accept the Indian Constitution. The Naga national political groups are prepared to be part of the Indian Union, part of the Indian Constitution. The Nagas are split.
You know, when you started respecting the Nagas, no? Yes, we also started respecting your difficulties and your right also, your history also. No? And that means that must be the way to respect each other and come closer to each other. But dictating your flag to be, on us now, and your constitution and this and that on us now. That is
just so there is clarity, I'm asking you to repeat, you will never be part of the Indian Union.
Well, so long as that is imposed on the Nagas, no?
What do you mean imposed? In what way can you accept being part of the Indian Union?
Okay, remember, the question is, why should we become a part of the Indian Union? If our history is clear.
So you're saying you will never be part of the Union?
We will never be part of India, no? If it is not, Indians are not respecting our right.
Okay, I think I've understood. I was simply getting you to repeat it. I think I've understood. You will never be part of the Indian Union. You will never accept the Indian Constitution. Yes? That's yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what Nehru dictated on us.
No, but I'm not talking about your position. Forget Nehru. I just want clarity because it's so important. You are saying you will never be part of the Indian Union. Yes?
Yes. We are bound to talk that way because how can we surrender our right to the Indians?
Okay, I've understood that. Let's then
we cannot. Whether it is here on earth or there in heaven, we will not surrender. Ours is ours, yours is yours. But the issue is, if you are going to respect the right of the Nagas. No? Nagas will respect the right of the Indians and how to come closer to each other. This is now.
Yeah, you're talking about respecting each other's rights and coming closer to each other.
Yeah.
But that is different to joining the Indian Union.
No, no, according to the agreement, respecting each other, no? Each other right, no? Peaceful coexistence of the two entities must be there.
Peaceful coexistence of two entities, so you will remain two entities. You won't become one entity.
No. Two entities, no? Peaceful coexistence.
Of two entities.
Yes.
Okay, I've understood that. Let's come to the third issue. Your demand that all areas that are Naga inhabited but are presently outside the borders of Nagaland must be merged and brought together, what you call Nagalim. But I put it to you, if the Indian government were to agree, it would create turmoil in Assam, in Manipur, in Arunachal Pradesh. It would create turmoil, you know that.
But you know, from that perspective, you cannot argue with us. Why? Because our history, our land are clear. The history is clear. We were never under the Assamese. We were never under anyone. No?
So you are insisting that Nagalim must be created by bringing together all Naga areas outside Nagaland.
No, you are right. Who divided us? By the Nagas ourselves? No. No.
So you insist on this?
By the British.
So, but you insist that all Naga areas must be brought together?
Yes. You respect our right. No? Nagas will have to have their land, their right. No? We will also respect yours.
Now, Mr. R.N. Ravi, the interlocutor, and also now Governor of Nagaland, in an interview in February to Nagaland Post, said that the government is prepared to consider, and I'm quoting him, a pan-Naga ho-ho, which is a cultural body with no political role or executive authority. Secondly, he said, the government would consider Naga regional territorial councils for Naga inhabited areas of Manipur and Arunachal. And these territorial councils would be part of the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Is that acceptable to you?
That is in transitional period, step by step to reach the final goal, final settlement. No? We have to try to take steps. So these are the steps in the transitional period.
You're saying a very important thing, and in saying it, you are echoing what you said to me in an interview for the BBC program Hard Talk India in 2005, i.e. 15 years ago. In 2005, you said, you insist on Nagalim, the government must agree in principle, but you're prepared to give them time for implementation. Today you're saying, the proposals made by Mr. Ravi in that interview to Nagaland Post as a transition, as a first step are okay, but it is only a transitional measure. Eventually, there has to be Nagalim bringing all Naga areas together.
You are right. Because we cannot leave behind other Naga areas. We cannot. No? You know, Nagas happen to be now in some part of Assam, no? By themselves, of their own accord? No.
Tell me this, when you say to Mr. Ravi that these proposals are acceptable only as a transitional step, only as a way of getting to the final goal, what is his reply? What does he say to you?
Yes, that is. He also agreed.
He agreed?
Yes.
He's agreed that this is only a transitional measure.
Yes. You see, indigenous, I mean...
transitional.
Naga indigenous, I mean the integration. All Nagas are this is the history, this. And so this must be cleared.
But you're saying an important thing. You're saying Mr. Ravi, the interlocutor, has accepted that these proposals, a pan-Naga HOHO, the Naga Regional Territorial Councils, are only a transitional step. He's accepted that.
Well, you know, why? Because the actual condition now, the actual conditions still, we are facing now cannot be totally ignored. We have to admit the actual condition now. Okay, now let us understand together then.
So your position is the same as it was in 2005 when I interviewed you for the BBC program Hard Talk India. You're saying the government must accept in principle the creation of Nagalim, but we are prepared to give them time to implement it, and now you're saying they can even implement it in transitional stages. That is your position.
You know, that is how we have understood each other. And so, now, competencies which you can do. You know, it has been officially accepted.
By the government?
By the, Mr. Ravi. Yes.
So Mr. Ravi has accepted that this is only a transitional step.
No. Let me tell you this. Integration. All Naga areas must be integrated. And this is their right.
And Mr. Ravi has accepted this?
Yes.
You're sure?
Sure.
Okay.
See?
I'll take your word for it. It comes as a great surprise to me, but I'll take your word for it.
You know, it is like this. You know, we have agreed in many ways now. So, the competencies, how many competencies we have agreed. And now, all these things are being betrayed.
By whom? Who's doing the betraying?
You. Ravi. Ravi is the one betraying. That is why we said, well, these are the understanding we have made, we have agreed.
Let's talk about Ravi. We've already talked about three big issues where you have differences with the Indian government. Flag and constitution was the first, sovereignty is the second, the third is this issue of Nagalim. Let's now come to Ravi. He's lost your trust and you have asked for him to be removed. Can you explain why? What has gone wrong with Ravi?
Okay. Are you interested, inheriting Nagaland from the British or from who? See?
But come to Ravi. Why has Ravi lost your trust?
You know, you have to ask him. Why? Because we have had enough talks now, and so yes, we have come up to this now. How is it that you have to declare now that within such and such time, within 3 months' time, that agreement must be completed, and after that, immediately after that, say all the Naga areas must be included in the Indian Union. Under the Indian Union, they have to be. That is the ultimatum given last year. The last year.
So you're saying Ravi has gone back on what he has talked about and agreed with you? Is that what you're saying? He's gone back?
Ravi has openly declared, and the whole world knows it now, and so it was a total surprise to us now. Agreement is already signed.
This is why you say he has betrayed you. This is why you use the word betrayal.
Yeah.
Ravi has betrayed you.
Yes. How many times he has betrayed us?
There are two stories in the papers which explain why you are upset with Ravi. I want to put them to you one by one. First, it said you are angry with Ravi because in a letter he wrote on the 16th of June to the Chief Minister of Nagaland, he referred to Naga groups, presumably including yours, as armed gangs. Did that upset you?
Yes. He called us Amkang. He called us terrorists. He called terrorists. No, we will not listen. I mean, we will not respect your statement. Also, see. So he has thrown us. Now
He has thrown you.
thrown us away. You know, all the agreement we have understood each other. Now, no more. Where is he now? So why should we trust him? He's not for solution. He's there to suppress the Nagas. He's the governor of Nagaland now. Governor of Nagaland deals with law and order issue, not with politics. No? So in our case, this is the political issue between the Nagas and India. Okay. No? So at the highest level, Narasimha Rao, we have agreed each other. Since Mr. Prime Minister, you know, since you have also, from your side, also realized the fact, the truth of our history. You know, so, you know, you said from your side, this is not, well, I mean, military solution is not possible.
Absolutely. Let me come to what the newspapers say is a second reason why you are upset with Mr. Ravi. It said that he has circulated copies of the framework agreement to other Naga groups like the NNPG, deleting the word new from the sentence that says GOI and NSCN will provide for an enduring, inclusive, new relationship of peaceful coexistence of the two entities. Explain to me, why is that word new so important to you?
New, the term new, and that is added, changed by him, changed by him. That is why afterward we came to know it, so we were not happy with him. So how is it that he has to go on betraying like this? New relationship. Did we use? Now he is changing like this and circulating to all the NN species and the Nagaland 14 tribes. That is how he has been playing, and he has been used by whom?
You tell me, who is using him? Who is using him?
The government of India, authorities of the Indian government, particularly the home authorities. Why?
Home Minister.
Because they said, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs, they used to issue the orders.
So you are saying, or you are suggesting, that the Home Minister Amit Shah is putting Ravi up to this, and at his directions Ravi is betraying the understanding reached with you?
Of course, you know, Ravi cannot act on his own. Indians, they have government. Their government is using them, using Ravi. But in what way? To solve the Naga political problems or internal problems of India.
Mr. Bungkw, you have explained to me why Ravi has lost your trust. You have explained to me why you don't believe in him, why you think he has betrayed you. But there's another problem. Your organization wants Ravi removed, but once again, the Naga national political groups, the Naga village heads, have gone on record to say they don't want Ravi removed.
No. Let us not try to vibrate this way. No. Political issue of two people, two nations. Come on that line, let us stop. Why? Because that is the stand. You have to from your side also. That is the stand from our side also. And so the government of India side, they changed now everything.
But you said a very interesting thing. You said this is a political issue of two nations. You see the Nagas as a separate nation, different to India. Is that right?
Yeah, you are right. You are right, because that is the history. That is the history.
About 10 days ago, it emerged that you wrote to the Prime Minister, I think on the 25th of February, saying that there was a serious deadlock, and you said that the talks must now happen at the highest level, which I presume means the Prime Minister.
Yes, yeah.
That they should happen without preconditions, and they should happen outside India, in what you called a third country.
Sure. I said that.
What reply did you get from the Prime Minister?
You know, we have not received officially, written by Prime Minister himself. No, we have not yet received. No.
8 months nearly have gone by. You've got no official reply. Have you got an unofficial reply?
You know, after having agreed on many issues, approaching from political, angles, of being two, history of the two nations and two peoples, okay. So since it is political issue between Nagas and the Indians, it must be settled at the highest level, Prime Minister level, without any precondition. That was the first point we agreed upon. Yes, Narasimha also said yes. And so, the venue of the talk will have to be outside India, somewhere in third countries. Yes, you're right. Okay.
Mr. Mulva.
No. Political issue is political issue. Now, this political issue, which has been agreed upon from the highest Prime Minister, is all betrayed. And now, Ministry of Home Affairs is dictating us now. Ravi is dictating us. Now he's the governor of Nagaland, now dictating us. Is that the way? Is that the way? This is the problem. The problem is not with us, but with the Indian government. You know? That is why we said, well, you are not for solution.
Let me put this to you. It is almost impossible to believe that the Prime Minister will himself conduct the discussions, and it's almost impossible to believe that he will agree to the discussions happening outside India. In which case, what will the NSCN do? If he refuses to talk to you directly, if he refuses that the discussions should happen outside India, what will your organization do?
Sensible people should not expect from the Nagas to say yes to the dictates of the Indian government. No. Government of India must respect, according to what we have agreed. Now, it must be done now. But like Nehru's, like Modi Sira, without any compunction, we'll exterminate the Nagas. That is how they used to utter. See, the same thing is being repeated. Of course, to that kind of attitude, Nagas will bow down. No, we'll stand to the end. Yes? Our history is our history. Indian history is Indian history. If they will respect us, we will also respect them. That is now the position.
Mr. Mulva, I have to ask you this. I'm asking you bluntly. Are the talks about to break down and collapse? Have you reached that point?
No. You know, if the Indians would continue to impose their will on us now, yes, Nagas will not bow down to the Indians. No. So, that must be the end. That must be the end. And are you to blame us if this thing happened?
So you are seeing the end of the road. You are seeing the end of the road.
No, you are right. You are right. That is why we have given our words. No? Yes, since we have understood each other, no, and our history is also unique, and our right is also. Yes, you said you have. Admitted.
I'm asking you one more time for clarity. This is so important. Is the NSCN close to walking out of the talks? Are you close to saying, this has gone on for 23 years, we're not making progress, bye-bye?
Okay. If Nagas are to go on saying yes, to whatever Ravi says, is that the way towards solution? Yes. Come on.
So if Ravi does not change his position, you will walk out of the talks?
No, we are compelled. We are compelled. You are imposing on us.
So you will be compelled to walk away. You will be compelled to walk away.
Yes. What we cannot eat, what we cannot swallow, no? If you compel us to do that, well, we'll have to vomit it out. Oh, so do you want to blame?
The blame, you say, will be on the Indian side.
See. Your imposition, your imposition is wrong.
Let me put this to you. Is there a danger if the NSCN walks away that the government will do a deal with the other Naga groups, the NNPG, the civil society organizations, the Naga Ho-Ho, the apex body of Naga tribes? Are you worried that if you walk away, the government will do a deal with the others and your group will be the odd one left out?
Yeah. Remember, what we tell, we told Prime Minister and Mr. Ravi and the Indian authorities also. You know, we have clearly stated to them again and again, since history is this, since our right are this, and since your position is also this, yes, they have come.
Let me ask you this.
No, yes, they have come. But now, where are they? Within 3 months' time. You have to...
Let me ask you this. You have said that if the Indian side does not start accepting your requirements and your demands, you will be compelled to walk away. How much time do you give the talks? Are you prepared to carry on for another 4 months, 5 months, a year? Is there a time limit?
How long? You are prepared to agree or to respect the right of the Nagas. So, equally.
But you're losing patience. How long more are you prepared to continue the talks before you feel we have to go? How much more time do you give the talks?
Okay. Within this time, you have to finish it.
How much time?
And all the Nagas.
When you say within...
No. All the Nagas will have to be in the Indian Union. That ultimatum is not from us. That is from the Indian side. Yes. How long will they go on imposing on us like that? So.
But how long are you prepared to keep waiting for the Indians to change? How much more time are you prepared to give the talk?
You are right. We have taken almost all the possible steps. So yes. Signed, admitted. Okay. So where are they now? Are we betraying them or they are betraying us?
But the one thing you're not telling me is how much longer you're prepared to continue talking. Is there a deadline by when you'll say, this is enough, I'm going?
Okay. 23 years now, talking. Okay. Have we not had the patience to solve the problem? And have we not had the patience?
So when will patience run out? Are you prepared to
patience towards the Indians? You want that since the talk should continue even 100 years now? No.
But the danger is that if you walk out, the government will do a deal with the other groups. I've named the other groups. Then you will be the only party left out.
Yeah, if you bring those people who had accepted already to be under the Indians, if you are using them to disturb us, to undermine us, Sorry, we'll never listen to that. Oh.
My last question. You won't tell me when you will stop talking, but you are indicating that you're getting to the end. You are indicating that you could be compelled to leave, but you won't tell me how much more time you're giving the talks.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Whenever the talks end, whenever the NSCN walks away, will you resume the violence and the fighting? Will we then go back to the situation before 1997?
Okay. You need to ask that question to the Indian government. On our part, we have had enough patience. So up to this also, we have tolerated. But the ultimatum last year, ultimatum given to us, you must accept this agreement. So, I mean, yes, this order, and all the Nagas must be under the Indian Union. They have declared. Did you not hear that ultimatum?
But I'm asking a different question. I'm going to repeat it because it's important. How much more time are you prepared to give these talks before you get fed up and leave? How much more time are you prepared to keep talking?
We are still having the patient waiting. How long they want us
So you haven't
waiting?
You have not as yet run out of patience. You have not run out of patience.
That is not up to you, up to me. But that is, according to how they behave.
And what happens when you do run out of patience? Will the NSCN go back to fighting? Will the insurgency, as the Indians call it, begin again? Will we go back to the situation before the 1997 ceasefire?
Okay, have we not had the patience? Now, it is now 23 years now. Have we not had the patience?
Okay.
Yes. You want still how many years?
I've asked you these two questions repeatedly in many different forms. But I'm just pointing out that for good, understandable strategic reasons, you are not prepared to tell me how much more time you are willing to give the talks, and you are not prepared to tell me what will happen if you walk out, whether the fighting will resume and restart. These are two answers you do not want to tell me.
You are right. But don't expect that Naga should wait. Naga should wait for the Indians, even 100 years more still now. Please, don't do that. Nagas will not accept that. We have had enough patience. We have had taking positive steps, even to live together, to have peaceful coexistence of the two. We have come. We have come. It's not a sensible step.
Okay, Mr. Muiva, I thank you for this interview. I thank you for making 3 or 4 things crystal clear. I'm repeating them for the audience because I think they're very important. You said that a separate Naga constitution and a separate Naga flag cannot be compromised on. These are essential. You said that shared sovereignty does not mean that you will accept the Indian constitution. You will not be part of the Indian Union. You are also saying that you are prepared to give the Indian government time to create Nagaland as a transitional measure. The proposals made by Mr. Ravi are acceptable, but only as a transitional measure. And finally you're saying that it is important that the talks happen directly at the highest level.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Although you are running out of patience, you haven't completely run out of it as yet.
Okay.
But you're not at the stage where you're walking away.
Okay. But have we not had the patience in the past 23 years now? Do you think Indians have the patience? No. We had the patience. We had the patience. Okay. Unique history and this agreed all. But now, you have to live under the Indian Union. That is the ultimatum given.
And that you are not prepared to do.
Huh?
And that you are not prepared to do.
Well, If the Indian would come to impose like this, now, are we to worship them? No, we will not worship them. Nagas have Nagas right. Now, you know, we will respect yours. You from the Indian side, you also respect ours. Then that is the meeting point.
All right.
So respecting each other to come closer. So peaceful coexistence of the two entities. But now, who is betraying? Who is giving the ultimatum? Betraying? He is from your side, not from our side.
Mr. Muiwa, we've come to the end of this interview. Thank you very much for talking so openly to me. Thank you.